What is up, wrestling fans? Welcome to another Pay-Per-Viewpoint edition of the Smark Out Moment Smack Talk podcast. This is the WWE Fastlane 2017 post-show where we're going to be going through all the things that transpired during the show and giving our thoughts about what happened and recapping what just happened a few minutes ago and anything else that we want to toss out there. And who's going to be the we that I'm talking about? Well, I am your host as always, Tony Mango, and joining me on the call for this episode is Sean Walker.
Hello! And Tony, stop living in the past. It's no longer about the Wii. It's all about the Nintendo Switch, my brother.
It's all about the Wii U. I'm slowly creeping up to these kids nowadays. I got mine in television. I used to have one of those back in the day in a television. I never had an Atari, but I had in television. So Burger Time was fucking awesome.
You show your age there now.
Yeah. Yeah, I am. Like, my day, I remember when ping pong was real. Okay, so if you don't know what the hell this is, well, I just already said that it's the post-show for Fastlane. So what we're going to be doing is starting off with the pre-show of the night, which consisted of a couple of different things that are pretty normal. We had the social media lounge with Charlie Caruso and Samoa Joe. We had Peter Rosenberg was part of the pre-show panel. Not the standard three people, though. It was Booker T and he and Renee Young for the majority of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why they didn't have Jerry Lawler there. He was there, and he was on Raw Talk, which I only saw a minute or so of, but, that's a little bit weird. But maybe they're trying to just keep it at 3 from now on. Maybe there's too many people talking, or it was just an oversight, or they just didn't give a shit. I don't know.
Jerry Lawler was in the back sleeping.
Maybe.
They didn't want to wake him.
But they did have Sheamus and Cesaro on it, talking about how they should get another title shot. And that was just sort of, whatever. Cesaro stood up at one point, got the fans to cheer for him. Sheamus stood up, fans booed him. It was kind of funny. We had a backstage segment, though, during this, which was Rusev and Jinder Mahal complaining that they wanted to split up as a tag team. And Foley talking about how both of them are going to go out tonight and have a match against somebody, and it's going to be their decision of who's going to fight and whatever, which took me by surprise.
Can I just say, Mick Foley looks fucking fantastic. I don't know how much weight he has lost.
He looks a lot better than he had looked in the past couple of years.
But, by God, he looks fantastic. And Rusev with that new haircut, man.
Looking spiffy.
What a dweeb.
Good old handsome Rusev. His mom's got his little comb. Yeah, he doesn't compare to how bad Neville looks, though, backstage and stuff. You want to somebody who looks like they were dressed up for picture day in school, it's Neville.
Yeah.
But they had that whole section, which led to something that will happen later on. We'll get to that in a little bit later on. But the kickoff match itself was Brian, Kendrick, and Noam Dar, accompanied by Alicia Fox, against Akira, Tozawa, and Rich Swann. Now, I'm watching it with, a group of people. We got everybody in the basement all, chatting it up and everything. And almost everybody's like, who watches this 205 crap? Later on, they're eating their words. We'll get to that when we get to the Cruiserweight title. But I liked it. I thought it was fine. It's a, kickoff match. It doesn't really matter. Nothing was on the line for it. I like all 4 of these guys to a certain extent. Rich Swann's my least favorite of the bunch. But yeah, it was cool. It's just 4 Cruiserweights doing some flippy shit. I'm fine with that, right?
Mm-hmm. I just didn't give a fuck. It's the pre-show.
Fuck.
Do you know what should have been on the pre-show?
Oh,
that
the Russo
fucking
stuff?
New Day segment.
That was a little bit weird. Why don't we just talk about that? Because it's not gonna be like important to be like, oh, it happened at this part of the night. Later on in the night, New Day comes out and they have a little bike and they've got an ice cream thing. They don't really show you any ice cream though.
That's because CM Punk's like, ill.
Now, I didn't hate the segment.
Oh, I fucking hate it.
But I thought it was hilarious that Big E looked like he was drugged out of his mind. He's like chewing on it and stuff. Pumping it for no reason. Big E's been like the crown jewel of the New Day. Like, they just took him off the reins and were like, yo, can you just be like as weird as you want to be? And he's like, I'll fucking do one step better. That guy's amazing at that stuff.
I'm hoping after WrestleMania they break up.
Oh, I want them to stay together for like years to come. I want them to be like 20-time champions.
Oh, God. As long as it's on Raw, I don't give a shit.
Well, remind me a little bit later on when we're talking about the women's championship match to talk about the difference between Raw and SmackDown. That's something that's going to be, whatever. We had that whole setup with the pre-show, and it was a thing where it was like, it's fine. It's a pre-show. It doesn't really matter all that much. And then the first match of the night comes up, Samoa Joe versus Sami Zayn, and 3 different people at different points that weren't paying attention to what the other people said, all were like, wait, is this still the pre-show? Like, none of us realized that the pay-per-view had started. Was it like that for you too? Or was it just us?
I tuned on at 1 a.m. because the pre-show is at 12, and I don't watch the pre-show. Even though the comments section says I should watch the pre-show, I ain't doing what you fucking say, alright? I ain't got time for the pre-show. I was playing Breath of the Wild, so leave me alone.
I thought that the Joe-Zayn match took a little bit to get started, but I actually kind of liked it. It was decent. Not as special as I was hoping that it would be. But, I like both Zayn and I like Joe, and the right man won. So I kind of can't complain all that much.
I enjoyed it. Like you said, it was a bit slow to begin with. I like Joe. I like Zayn. I wish Zayn was on SmackDown. Hopefully he'll make the transfer to SmackDown soon. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think that he really missed out on going to SmackDown. It would have been better for him. I don't really know who they would have put him up with, essentially, but, I don't know. I wanted him to be doing something more.
No, man, can you imagine The Miz versus Zayn for the IC title? That would have been fucking amazing to watch.
Zayn, versus who?
The Miz.
Oh, The Miz? Well, you can't really do heel versus heel. I mean, you're talking about Zayn. You're talking about Zayn versus... Okay.
Heel dude?
No, I thought you meant Samoa Joe versus...
No. Joe can stay on Raw.
That's what I was saying. I was like, Joe versus on SmackDown, I think that they missed an opportunity. Zayn too, though. If either one of those could have been better on SmackDown, because SmackDown knows how to work with their people a little bit better.
I don't know if it's because they got different writers or whatever, but SmackDown's just a better brand. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I tend to like SmackDown every week a little bit more. Raw feels like a bigger show, but SmackDown feels like a more entertaining show. Well, that was our first match of the night, though. It was good enough. Whatever. And I was thinking to myself, if this is like the worst thing that happens throughout the night, then that's cool. And it wasn't. It wasn't. Yeah, you're going to hear some complaining. So everybody right now that's going, oh my God, they're going to complain. Yeah, we are going to complain about some things. And some things we're going to complain about right off the bat. But we had a little backstage thing with Charlotte. Not Charlotte. She wasn't actually in it. She was referenced to it. It was Charlie Caruso and Bayley. And Bayley says, you know what? Why doesn't Charlotte leave Dana Brooke behind? Figure out who the real best woman is. Nia Jax pops up. Everybody kind of giggled in the basement. That was about it.
I have to say, the best thing about this pay-per-view was that Charlie bird.
Oh, Charlie is so attractive.
I've never seen her before tonight.
Really?
But my God, she has got some amazing boobs. She's probably going to be my one to watch in this tournament that you're going to be doing with the hottest divas and shit.
She was not a part of it last year, so she could make a run for it. I mean,
it's probably going to be between her and my secret lover. This is Peyton Royce.
I'll give you a couple of names right now that are really going to stand out to me. Alexa Bliss, of course. I was championing her last year. Charlie is one of them. Mickie James is back in the mix, and I've always been a big Mickie James fan. Those might be my top 3. I don't know. I'd have to really figure it out. And this year, the seeding is going to be randomized. People voted for that last year. They wanted it to be a little bit more random instead of more on the weighted side of things like I did last year. So we're not going to see I mean we might because it's random. But last year it was like Nia Jax versus Renee Young or something. And it was like, well, we know who's going to win that one. And then, But if other people change their mind and they want to do it the other way too, we still got a little bit of time. Right now, we actually are doing the Smark Madness tournament. So get your votes in as quickly as possible for round 1 of the best finishers of all time. That's going on right now. I know Sullivan of Doom's not a big fan of having to pick between the Camel Clutch and the Pedigree. Easy choice as far as I'm concerned. That pedigree wins.
Fucking pedigree for the win.
Yeah, last time I checked, it was blowing it out of the water too. But I was surprised at how the votes where the super kick were going. Seemed like people were a little bit down on that, voting for the F5.
Who's super kick? Just
Well,
super kick in general, or the switch in music?
I put it down as super kick because I was like, everybody knows it's got to be Sweet Chin Music, you know?
Super kick wins for me. I've never liked the F5.
Yeah, I've never been the biggest fan of that compared to anything like the super kick. But hey, if you like the F5 and you want that to win, go ahead and vote, even though you're wrong. Well, that little backstage segment took us into the Raw Tag Team Championship match. Gallows and Anderson against Enzo and Cass. This didn't keep my attention. I didn't like this.
I enjoyed it.
Really?
Yeah. Because I actually figured out how to play my Zelda game. I actually unlocked a memory. But the match was alright. It was a quality match. Big Kaz kept my attention. He looks great. Enzo not so much. Enzo needs a haircut. And it was really, really good. The opening was a bit long-winded. The promo.
I don't even remember what he said. It wasn't even a good one.
So, the only phrase I remember is that Gallows and Anderson look like two thumbs from behind. Two thumbs up from behind.
I don't even get that. That's right over my head. Because
they're bald, Tony.
Bald joke? All right.
Mm-hmm.
That's not fun. They could do better than that. Yeah, I didn't really like this, and I knew that it was going to be some kind of a schmoz, and kind of didn't care about that either. So it's sort of like, well, we're just wasting time until WrestleMania at this point. You're watching an episode of Raw and a couple of the parts in this, and no worse in the night did that show than Nia Jax versus Sasha Banks. Boring as fuck.
Again, I enjoyed this match.
God, man, I hated it. This is my least favorite part of the whole night.
I thought it was the best match Nia Jax has ever had.
Well, that's not saying much.
I've really, really enjoyed it.
Because you got Zelda working?
No, it's just the fact that I could see the progression from Nia Jax from NXT to now.
Couple of pounds?
She's lost a couple of pounds. Though, fucking Corey Graves, man. What a fucking legend.
What did he say?
On commentary. He was like, oh, Nia Jax, she's the boss. She used to pose for billboards in New York City. I'm like, really? Have you seen Nia Jax?
What was it? Oh, man, I'm an asshole. I was going to make a McDonald's joke, but...
What was she ordering? What was she fucking advertising? Lay's chips?
I could go for some chips right now. Well, that took us into something that I actually thought was kind of enjoyable, which was out of the blue. They did this whole thing with Rusev and Jinder Mahal. And then they have Jinder Mahal against Cesaro. And then Rusev against, and you assume it's going to be Sheamus. Big Show comes out. It's like, oh, okay. Well, first off, I didn't expect these two to be on the card at all. Second, didn't expect both of them to get a match because I thought it was going to turn into, you have to decide who's going to fight. Actually, you're going to fight each other, that kind of a thing. And then when Cesaro comes out and I thought it was going to be Sheamus and it's Big Show, I was just like, oh, damn, they're going all over the place here. And the matches went longer than I expected them to be, but, I didn't dislike it. Cesaro gets a win, which makes sense. Big Show gets a win, which makes sense. And I'm, for the first time, actually curious what's going on with Rusev and Jinder Mahal. Like, win, all right across the board.
I didn't enjoy it.
Go watch your Nia Jax and Sasha Banks shit instead.
This is where the pay-per-view started to go downhill for me. What I don't get is why
are Lana's legs wrapped up in tinfoil?
That, but these two matches took time off the main event, which I knew was going to happen. You knew the main event was going to be short.
Yeah. That's why they needed to add this in there because that wasn't going to be a long thing.
I still had hope. And I don't know, I didn't like the way the Big Show match ended.
Oh, that was awkward.
Like you put him in the corner. I was like, all right, cool. He's gonna do a cannonball or something. Just for shits and giggles. Can you imagine the Big Show doing a cannonball? Fucking fantastic.
With a Bronco Buster.
That's what I was hoping for, something like that. But no, he just casually walks over to him and punches him.
That was very weak. He's done some good punches over the past couple of years since he's brought this in, but that WMD was his worst, I think.
The choke slams were pretty on point. Well, I don't know why they just didn't end it there.
So do you think this means that Shaq match isn't happening?
I didn't even think it was even going to happen, to be honest. They're probably just... I don't know, probably Shaq's agent probably wants more money or some shit.
Well, now the story going around is that he's too fat for it.
Who? Big Show or Shaq?
Shaq.
Really?
So, I mean, you know, this is all just speculation and bullshit and dirt sheet stuff, but I still think it could be a work. And I think that this was a means for them to give Big Show a win over Rusev as a means to kind of come out and be like, you know, I got something I got to fucking do for WrestleMania. Shaq, what the hell you doing? Like, I still think it's going to happen. But if it didn't, wouldn't shock me.
I wouldn't mind seeing Big Show win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, as long as he retires off the back of it.
He'd be a two-time winner.
Be pretty fly. No, would he? I thought Cesaro won the first one.
Cesaro, and then Big Show, and then Baron Corbin.
Big Show?
Remember Big Show won the one that Ms. Dow was everybody's number one pick?
What WrestleMania was that?
WrestleMania 31.
Which one was that? What was the main event?
That was Reigns and Lesnar.
Oh, see, I didn't remember that because Seth Rollins won the fucking title. Right on.
Good old angry cat teenager.
I may have to watch that WrestleMania again.
And they don't.
You know this next WrestleMania, right? Just a quick question.
33.
Yeah. Is it going to be in daylight or is it going to be at night?
I'm assuming daylight because it's Orlando.
Ugh.
So I don't think that has like a roof over it. But if it does have a roof over it and it's like a retractable one, they'll always open it up if they can. You know, it's different.
I don't like the daylight.
I like the daylight for like 3 things, and I hate it for a lot of other things. Like, it sucks when it's too light out and the Undertaker comes out. Or Bray Wyatt. You know, it throws out the whole vibe. But it's kind of cool when you see it start off and it's all light out on the pre-show, and by the end of the night it's dark. I like when that happens.
That's the only thing I do like about it.
That happened with WrestleMania 29, and it was one of the only things that I actually liked about that damn show. Even the hot dogs sucked. I mean, come on. How do you fuck up hot dogs? You take a hot dog, you cook it on a goddamn grill, you throw it in a stupid-ass bun, and you wrap it up in tin foil and throw it on my lap, and I'm going to eat it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
They messed up their fries. Ugh. MetLife. You suck balls, man. We're trying to figure out how to get tickets for the Raw before WrestleMania. It's going to be in Philly. And we're looking up that stuff tonight. It's like $90 a piece, and we're like, do we want those seats for $90? Do we want to really do something else, like that kind of a thing?
Just make sure you don't take a Smark out Moments thing, because they confiscate that shit.
Oh, if they do that, I'm taking like 3 of them, and I'll just hold them up the entire time. It'll be like one of those segments that nobody gives a shit about, and in the background you hear in the background like
.com.
Hey, don't take my fucking sign. They start like dragging me away. You see like the people cheering, the whole like, yeah, you're getting rid of that jackass. And I'm like, give Owens the belt again. What did we leave off on? Braun, Rusev and all that stuff. Yeah,
yep.
That's right. Actually, that took us into my favorite part of the entire night, which was the Cruiserweight Championship match, Neville against Jack Gallagher. And that match kicked ass. And I mentioned this earlier. We're talking about the pre-show match, and everybody's like, 205 Live, that shit's stupid. I don't want to watch that. By the end of this match, everybody's like, oh, damn it, I should probably watch 205 Live. People were making fun of Gallagher, and then they're like, dude, those headbutts were fucking brutal. This was a damn good match.
Yeah, I was saying just before we start recording that if 205 is like this, then I might actually tune in to watch it.
Nobody seems to watch 205 Live, and I don't get it. Like, we all loved the Cruiserweight stuff in the Classic, and it's basically the same as NXT. It's like, it's a quick watch, it's easy. They don't have a bunch of dumb promos weighing it down and recaps and stuff. It's like, and they end early, too. Like, they start off at 10 o'clock on the dot, and they end at like 10:45. So it's a pretty easy watch. Like, I'd recommend it. The action's pretty good every week. They haven't started to bring in, like, too many people where you're starting to get, like, you know, oh, this shitty guy's going to wrestle all the time and all that. Like, Perkins is good. Nice is good. They got a lot of good people, actually. Still not the biggest fan of Mustafa Ali and Drew Gulak. Especially his name.
You know what the best thing was about this fucking entire match? Was Austin Aries at the beginning was like, you gotta check out my package.
I didn't hear them say that.
Michael Cole just looked at him and gone off. He was like, my video package. They kind of, I think they had to trim it down because it was too big. Oh, man.
I'm still curious what's going on with that damn banana. He always has banana out. And, like, I don't remember him ever referencing why he would do that.
It's Austin Aries. He doesn't need an excuse.
I just want, like, you know, he has a logo already, and they usually have, if they only have one logo, they put it twice on the belts. And there's no side plates on the Cruiserweight, I don't think. Is there?
Can't tell you.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think that there is. Because there's no side plates on the Intercontinental or the United States either. Or the tag teams. It's just the world titles and the women's titles.
United States has got the nameplate, though.
Yeah.
So, I think the IC belt is the nameplate as well.
They need to change that purple title in two more ways. One, they need to add side plates just for Austin Aries. So he can have the AA thing on the one and a banana on the other. And the other thing, get rid of the purple strap and make that black.
Put it black, yeah.
Yeah, this was definitely my favorite match of the night. The only thing that actually didn't disappoint in some way, other than the fact that the Rusev thing popped out, because I was like, you know what, I'm give him credit where it's due. I didn't see that coming, so I actually like that a little bit. But even the Joe and Zayn match, I thought would have been better than what it was. I liked it, but I thought it would have been better. Neville and Gallagher, I thought, you know, that could be one of the best matches of the night, and it was by far my fafavorite. Then we had that New Day segment.
Oh, God, the New Day segment.
Yeah, we already talked about that. Paul Heyman teased Brock Lesnar. Didn't happen. Also, another tease that we had going on a little bit, that didn't happen. No Undertaker tonight. Instead, Roman Reigns just beats Braun Strowman.
Moving on.
It's not the end of the world. And I know that people are going to make too big of a deal about it in certain circles and stuff, but there is no reason why Roman Reigns needed to win this match. I mean, the only argument I can see is that they are worried that for some reason, and this is dumb, that's why it doesn't make any sense to me, that they're worried that Roman Reigns doesn't look strong enough to be fighting The Undertaker because he didn't win the Royal Rumble and he's not the champion or whatever. And it's like, Roman Reigns is Roman Reigns. He's strong enough to beat anybody right now. Braun Strowman didn't need to lose. That's the more important thing. It's not so much that Roman Reigns needed to win, it's that Braun Strowman needed to win.
Yeah, because Braun Strowman is still, relatively new?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's been on his own, 6 months?
Hasn't been too long. And he's, like, not really had too much of, like, a solid feud. He's only wrestled a couple people one-on-one that are noteworthy on, like, Monday Night Raw. And it's, you know, when you put him up against, like, Big Show, we know that he's going to be Big Show. You put him up against Roman Reigns, it means something if he wins it. And worst of all, though, they've set up this idea of the Roman Reigns Undertaker thing. They haven't set up jack shit for Braun Strowman. And that dude could use that momentum going forward. So you mean to tell me that it's more important for you to give a guy who everybody hates, wins all the time, another win over a guy who could use it more, and is in a worse position. It's like kicking somebody when they're down almost. You know what I mean?
You know what they are going to do with Braun Strowman, right?
I'm assuming the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
That's what they're going to do, is just do that for him. It's like, he's better than that.
He is better than that. And, I mean, I'm spoiling something for the fantasy booking next week. That's where I gave him that spot. But I would preface it by saying, excuse me, I wouldn't have pushed him this hard knowing that that's all they were going to do with him.
Yeah.
It would have been a little bit of a slower push. Maybe he goes into it with a championship and is just like a champion and the winner. But you don't put him against Roman Reigns if you book yourself into a corner where it's like, oh crap, now we need to have Roman Reigns win. You don't need to have him win. And I'd love to see an argument for why anybody thinks that was a good idea. So if you have it, leave it in the comments below. But yeah, I mean, this match was fine, but the ending sucked. I didn't want Roman Reigns to win. And I'm not even that much of a Roman Reigns hater. It's just, it's getting harder and harder to defend it, you know?
Oh, I know. Trust me. I'm not allowed to say anything bad about Roman Reigns, apparently, because it triggers people. So
trigger warnings.
Fuck Roman Reigns. And yeah. It was a match. It went on way too long, this match as well. Way too fucking long.
I could see it being better if it was a little bit shorter, yeah. I didn't really have a complaint about that, but it might have been a little bit tighter and better. See, VDant95, just as we're doing this right now, just left a comment, and it's it says 1, hello, is this Roman? 2, yes. 1, boo, beep, beep, beep.
Who went for the table? Because I kind of missed that part. Was it Braun or was it Roman? Probably Roman.
You know what? I actually don't even remember. I think that it was Roman went through. I think that Strowman gave him the power slam. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Of course it fucking was. It always is fucking Roman who goes to the table. He always ends up fucking winning. The last 3 pay-per-views, he's gone for the fucking announcer table. And has won.
So a couple other people apparently have left comments as well over the past little bit of time. One of them is, I don't care what other people say. From now on, I'm booing Roman Reigns for every single reason. He comes out, boo Roman. He opens his mouth, boo Roman. He wins a match, boo Roman. James Ellsworth wins a match, boo Roman. My back starts to itch, boo Roman. After so long, WWE, I guess he's assuming WWE, built someone like Braun Strowman just to remind us those words from CM Punk. And somebody else, Mez, leaves a comment, Roman won, no! Yeah, so you can see, I mean, these people aren't really a big fan of it. Yet.
No, God damn it, WWE, you suck. This WrestleMania card is going to be terrible.
I'm not going to go so far as to say it's going to be terrible, but it's a situation where it could be so much better.
Oh, why can't they have John Cena versus fucking Undertaker? It would have been so much easier, better for both parties.
Well, a plug for next week. If you think you know how to do WrestleMania better, fantasy booking WrestleMania 33. I have my card written up. I don't love it yet, so I might tweak it a little bit more. I don't know, but it depends on how much time I have. And I'm going to be doing that at some point. We're also probably next week going to be doing, I'll get to this a little bit later on. We still have a couple more things to talk about. Bayley versus Charlotte Flair for the Women's Championship on Raw. I didn't really love the match. I didn't really hate it. I hated the ending, though, because it got sloppy as hell. Sasha Banks gets involved. Why isn't it a DQ?
I have no idea. This is what I was saying in the Mega Maniacs group on Facebook. If you haven't joined, join. And yeah, I just don't get it. Why didn't the referee ring the bell when Sasha attacked Charlotte outside?
The only reason he didn't is because they wanted the match to continue. There's literally no storyline reason for it to happen. It's only outside of the realm and to, control a fake show. So that's what takes you out of some of those things a little bit. It's like they only did that because they wanted to do something else. Instead of that, they actually wrote a story for it.
And why break the streak now?
And why not?
What's the gain? What's the gain for it?
Why not have Bayley win the title here? Why not have Bayley win the title at WrestleMania and Charlotte would have kept it? I don't understand why they needed to do this. But I will say, I'm happy that Charlotte didn't win.
Oh, yeah, by far.
Yeah, if you give me the choice between this outcome or Charlotte winning, I'm picking this one for sure. But it's still just kind of like, yeah, but you know what? That's kind of like asking me, do you want me to punch you in the face or do you want me to kick you in the balls? Punch me in the face, please.
Speaking of face.
But can you please just instead not do either of those,
Charlotte needs to get rid of that spot on her chin.
Oh, it bugs me too.
My God, at this point, WWE just may as well give her a fucking name. Jesus fucking Christ. It's so grotesque. Like, you got the money, just get it lasered off or something.
Some people, I don't know why, but some people like that stuff. They call it a beauty mark and shit. And it's like, that's the opposite of a beauty mark.
Not a beauty mark. Jesus Christ. It's probably got its own state. It's probably got its own zip code. Jesus fucking Christ. It's so fucking big. That's what she said.
Ew.
But yeah, this was a clusterfuck of a match. And how come SmackDown's women's is better?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you look at the women on SmackDown. You got Alexa Bliss, comes up from NXT, never won the NXT championship. Not a whole lot of people really know her too well. Easily the best woman that's going as far as the heels right now.
Yep.
Has been for a long time. You got Natalya, a woman that I admit I'm not the biggest fan of compared to a lot of other people. I do totally agree with the people that say that she's great in the ring. But at the same time, she's horrible on the mic all the time. Her character's always been garbage. She, in some ways, has found some more entertaining ways to be entertaining on SmackDown. Naomi finally gets a fucking championship. Unfortunately, she gets injured, but that's not, a plan. But they give her one of the most entertaining entrances in the company right now, and she gets a spot, and she actually becomes a champion. Mickie James comes back into the mix, and she's as good as she was before. Becky Lynch is the top woman on the roster on SmackDown, and she is doing a hell of a job. Nikki Bella looks better than ever.
Even Carmella.
Carmella hasn't been doing anything really, and she's the only real downside, other than Eva Marie sitting back and doing nothing, but Carmella is trying something different. She's turned into a heel, and she's got the James Ellsworth thing, and it's like, well, if they're not going to use her with that, they're giving her some kind of a comedy thing to do. What the fuck is going on Raw? You got Emma showing up to say the thing that we were talking about for the past 18 weeks, nah, and then leaving. Summer Rae and Paige are injured. Paige is beyond injured. She's trying to promote other companies, essentially.
Paige is going to TNA.
Oh, she is for sure.
Without a doubt.
That is a guarantee at this point. And I'm not going to give a shit because it's TNA. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then you got Nia Jax, who doesn't know what she's doing. And then Dana Brooke, who, is she a mute now? She never says anything.
She does her arm flexes.
That's it. And they built that story of her possibly breaking off from Charlotte. Nothing came out of that. So it basically boils down to the entire Raw roster for women are Bayley shows you the same video package of her doing that speech, of that essay she wrote.
Yep.
Because we haven't seen that a million times. Charlotte calling herself the queen, and Sasha Banks kind of squinting her face. And I like Bayley a lot, and I like Sasha Banks a lot, and I thought Charlotte has a lot of upsides to her, but holy shit, I am sick and tired of these three. And when you go, well, we'll change it up, we'll throw Nia Jax in the mix, please, go away, It
worries me. It really does worry me, because down in NXT, you got Asuka, Peyton Royce, Bayley Kay, they're all waiting to come up, and they just, I hope to God that they don't go to Raw. Because they will get lost in the shuffle. Asuka will probably survive on Raw. But there'd be no way Peyton and Bayley will survive on Raw.
No, and you know what? It probably would be that all three of them would go to Raw or something like that.
Yep.
And it kind of makes sense now that Sasha Banks was saying before, I want to go to SmackDown. I want to go to SmackDown. It was they're going to stay on Raw. And it's oh, great. Fantastic. I wonder if the people in the company think that, though. Because you got to imagine the SmackDown women are probably sitting there going, like, we're kicking ass. And the Raw ones are like, yeah, we had that promo again.
I don't know what Raw are thinking with the women. I just don't get it. Like I said, I don't know if it's because the SmackDown's got different writers, or whether it's because SmackDown's an hour shorter. But they just know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. With 1 hour less to do, they accomplish more every week.
Yep.
Unless you're Jack Swagger.
Oh, well, he's no longer there, bless him. We, the people.
Our main event of the night, 21 seconds long officially, I think is what that's what my stopwatch said at the very least.
When the actual bell rang.
Yeah.
It was 21 seconds? God damn.
WWE might go, well, it was officially 24 or 18 or whatever. I don't know. They change shit all the time. That's as far as bell rang, I hit my stopwatch. Bell rang, I hit my stopwatch. That kind of a thing. But Goldberg wins the championship from Kevin Owens. We all saw it coming. We all knew it would be a quick thing. We all knew that Kevin Owens would drag it out. This went exactly how I imagined it to go.
Yep. It's a shame, really. I wish different. But no, we're going to get Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho for the United States Championship at WrestleMania. Yeah! Oh, my God.
Both deserve so much better.
This better not be the main event on WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. It better not close the show. I swear
it will.
Fucking God.
I guarantee it will.
It should be the WWE Championship. It should not be this Universal title. I really don't give a fuck.
For a guy that hated the idea that Randy Orton won and hated the idea that Bray Wyatt won, I agree.
It's not looking too bad now, right?
In the comparison, yeah, Goldberg and Lesnar is the bigger match. I don't think there's any argument against that. But is it going to be the more fun match? Hell no.
Hell no.
Orton versus Wyatt's going to be a hell of a lot better. And you know what? That's probably going to be like the second match of the night or something stupid.
Yeah, I can see that, and it's going to be fucking terrible.
This whole, I don't understand the idea that you needed to give the belt to Goldberg. He didn't need it. And the worst part of this whole thing isn't even the WrestleMania situation. It's what happens after WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar wins the title, keeps it until SummerSlam, and we don't get a champion until September. I don't want to see that. Goldberg keeps the title and beats Lesnar. Well, then he's just beating Lesnar over and over again, and I don't want to see that. And then what does he do? Not do anything anymore again until September anyway? I don't like the idea of a Universal Champion not appearing at least on the pay-per-views every month. And then again, we're talking about a company that thinks Money in the Bank should be a SmackDown exclusive thing. It's they make these dumbass mistakes, and in their minds, I'm sure they're sitting there going, "Yeah, but you know what? The only way that Goldberg and Lesnar would be bigger is if the title was on the line. Let's give it to them. People would like Goldberg as champion. It's something different. It's whatever." And it's like, yeah, I can understand the mentality to a certain extent. And I can understand that they would go, well, at least the Owens-Jericho matches for the United States title, that's good enough, right, guys? You like mid-card matches? And it's like, no, those guys deserve better than this. Goldberg and Lesnar is not an opening match. Didn't need to be for the title, though. And you're going to screw the Universal Championship because of it.
Mm-hmm. That title hasn't got enough problems as is.
And you know what bugs me a little bit about this, too? This is that type of thing where it's the hypocritical thing to point out. A lot of people go, well, the belts don't mean anything. They're just props.
No,
it's true.
Mean something.
It's true to a certain extent, though. They are just props in the grand scheme of things. It's not like they're actually winning and, they're actually getting more money based off of that and that kind of a thing. But if it's true that it doesn't mean anything and it's just props, you don't need to give the belt to the Goldbergs and the Brock Lesnars then. Because they can be the top people without having the props. And you can take a situation like the United States one with Kevin Owens. You're assuming now at this point, Kevin Owens beats Jericho for the United States title, either at WrestleMania or the night after, or the week after, whatever, Jericho's thing ends. And then what? We're not going to have the United States the Universal Champion for the next couple of months, and Kevin Owens defending the United States title is going to be the main event. That just goes to show you all you did was transfer the Universal and the United States titles. And if you valued Kevin Owens enough that you can go, can you be our top champion for a couple of months and then we'll take the belt from you, but then can you also be our top champion even though you have the secondary belt? If you value him enough to do that, you should have kept the Universal title on him.
You know who I blame for all of this?
Kevin Dunn.
Finn Balor. Now,
Yeah,
if he never got injured, if Seth never got injured, we would never have had these fucking problems.
Well, do you blame Balor or do you blame Rollins at that point?
I blame Balor for actually putting his shoulder back into place during that match. They should have just stopped it there and then instead of him like putting it back into place and causing more damage to himself. Like if you hurt, you hurt. Take the X. You know?
Yeah. Well, he was like, it's more important that I just win it.
Yeah, I'm gonna win it. Oh, I gotta retire on the next night. Oh, well, short-lived.
He's like, I'm in the record books now. It doesn't matter.
Wonder what they would have done, though.
Well, I gotta imagine Balor would have kept the belt maybe for at least until like Survivor Series or so. And I still think that Kevin Owens probably would have ended up winning it at some point. You know, we probably would be in the same boat that we're in right now, except for Owens would have had a shorter title reign. And Balor would have been wrestling, I don't know, Samoa Joe.
Man, there were so many great rumors. Like the Joe versus John Cena match that they were planning.
Balor Undertaker was thrown around for a little bit.
Seth Rollins versus Triple H. All these good matches, and now we got Reigns and Undertaker.
Oh, you know, hold on to your horses there, man. We're going to get that Shane McMahon, AJ Styles match everybody's been asking for. So, you know, the thing that bugs me about Fastlane is it doesn't make me interested to see Raw tomorrow. Or tonight, technically, at this point. And that's what it should be doing. It should be making me go like, oh man, but you know, at the end of a pay-per-view, in my mind, at the very least,
you want to see what happens the next night.
You should have a couple things in your mind. Number one should be, that was a great show. Number two, I can't wait to see how they follow this up. And number three, what's going to top that? And I look at this and I go, well, what's going to top that? I don't know, SmackDown this week? And then I go, oh, was that a great show? Oh, it was a great Cruiserweight match. And then when I go with the whole, like, does it make me interested in Raw tomorrow? No, because number one, we're going to see Stephanie McMahon fire McFoley or just, like, release him or, you know, like, whatever the case may be, or, you know, scold him. Which I'm interested to see who they put in his spot.
Kurt Angle.
But I don't want that to drag out. So that's something that it could be good, it could be bad. I'm more interested in that than some other things because we're going to get a Charlotte promo. That was unfair. I should have won that. Look at all the footage. Sasha Banks came out. Blah, 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 blah. I'm the real queen. That's going to lead to a tag match. Her and Dana Brooke against Sasha Banks and Bayley. And then Nia Jax will come out and fuck them all up. Whatever. Kevin Owens will come out. That's ridiculous. Chris Jericho interfered and whatever. Goldberg will come out. Championship ceremony or whatever. Neville will have some kind of a tag match. Rusev and Jinder Mahal will probably do something. Maybe Big Show fights him again. Or Big Show and Cesaro and Sheamus against Rusev and Jinder Mahal and somebody or whatever, and like it's the same kind of things, and I'm just not interested. I'm more interested in anything tomorrow night about what they do with like how they bounce back Braun Strowman than anything else, and I think instead they're going to focus on Roman Reigns. So it's like fuck you at that point, you know.
Remember when Randy Orton burnt down Bray Wyatt's house and Sister Abigail was buried underneath? I wonder what they're going to do with that.
be great if they just showed a corpse.
SmackDown's so much better.
This is where I say, you know what? I'm officially announcing. I've gone back and forth about that. SmackDown is the better show. And it's because they took a feud that I didn't give a shit about. 2 people that I didn't win to win a Royal Rumble and the championship. And they got me where I went. Yeah, they got me where I not only have been interested in the feud more than I thought, I now value Luke Harper more. And I'm like, man, that's a shame that they're not giving him anything better to do. A couple weeks ago, I didn't give a shit about Luke Harper. And then they do this whole thing with Sister Abigail, and I go, oh, man, all right, well, then I guess that means that Sister Abigail's not going to ever show up for real. And do we ever have another shot of the Wyatt family compound? Like, they usually do those backstage. What's going on with those light bulbs? Why is Luke Harper a real big fan of them? You know, like that kind of thing.
And who's heel and who's face now? Is Randy Orton heel, or is Bray Wyatt heel? Is Bray Wyatt face, or is Randy Orton face? Who knows?
Orton's the face.
Really? He burnt down the house. Man.
Yeah, he's a dick, but he's still a babyface. Look at it this way. It's like, if somebody trips and falls and you laugh, it's like, you're a jerk for laughing, but you didn't trip him.
Good point. Good point.
So, yeah, but I'm more interested in that. I'm interested in what they do with the women's title on SmackDown. American Alpha and the Usos didn't do anything last week. Are they going to do something this week? I kind of want to know. But when they do with the Monday Night Raw thing, we're going to get 3 hours of, like, promos and stuff. It's going to be brutal, and I don't know.
You know what you need to do is buy yourself a Nintendo Switch and Zelda Breath of the Wild.
I just need to hear the little popping noise, because that's like therapeutic.
It'll make Raw seem better, and it makes that popping noise.
It does? That's awesome.
Yep.
What's it do that for, when you're like putting the controllers in, or
when you put the controllers in, when it's undocked. Let's see if I can do it now. Gotta unlock my screen. Turn this volume up. All right, here we go.
Get that ASMR going.
There we go. One more time. Sexy.
So, your favorite and least favorite part of the night, as far as wrestling goes?
As far as wrestling goes, best, I would say the 205 match between Neville and
the first 204 were better.
Gentleman, whatever his name is.
Gentleman Jack Gallagher.
Jack Gallagher. Yep, that was a really good match. I enjoyed the tag match, which was pretty fine. I enjoyed Samoa Joe and Sami Zayn. Though when I was watching it, I was like, why can't Sami Zayn be on SmackDown? And the worst... all 3 main events.
Yeah, I guess you can constitute those as 3 main events. It's true. I'd have to go with my least favorite part of the night. Damn it. That's tough. I really didn't like that whole ending of the Bayley Charlotte thing. But in the grand scheme of things, I mean, you're right. Like, the 2 other parts... that Nia Jax Sasha Banks match sucked. So if I was going to go my worst match of the night, it's going to be Nia Jax Sasha Banks. But if I'm going to go my least favorite, my disappointment of the night, Roman Reigns winning. Because I knew that the Goldberg thing was going to happen, and at this point, the Bayley Charlotte thing, I'm beyond not invested in that. But at least there was hope for the Braun Strowman thing, and they didn't do it. They didn't have The Undertaker come out. They didn't have Roman Reigns lose. It was just like bullshit.
I told you The Undertaker wasn't going to come out because it wasn't the main event.
Yeah, that's true. But on the positive side of things, that Cruiserweight title match was fucking awesome. So
yeah, I might actually watch 205 now.
I think that everybody should. A lot of people that don't give it credit, I think if you watch it like 2 or 3 weeks, maybe you don't watch it live if it's too late for you, but, check it out the next day when you're like in the middle of doing something and you just put it on, It's basically like watching NXT. NXT, you're going to get at least a somewhat decent show.
Yeah.
I actually think it's a little bit easier to watch that NXT because NXT has a little bit more recaps and stuff. So keep that in mind, everybody. 205 Live.
I tell you what, my favorite part actually was of this pay-per-view was the Raw commentators.
I never really listened to them.
They make me realize how bad SmackDown's really is.
Well, that's one thing Raw's got over them. Raw doesn't have to stick with Otunga, and I'm not the biggest fan of Mauro Ranallo.
Yeah, Double M.
Mamma mia. All that shit.
But you got Todd Phillips, and he's going to fuck somebody's face.
I like Tom Phillips, though.
Tom Phillips, not Todd. Why do I keep calling him Todd? It's because Todd Grisham.
Yeah. And Todd Pettengill. They're all like generic beanpole white guys, you know? You switch him out from Josh Matthews and switch him out with Michael Cole back in the day before he had the goatee and stuff. Like, they're all the same.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, everybody. Well, those are our opinions about Fastlane 2017. Make sure you leave your comments below and tell us what you thought, whether you agree or disagree with what we had said. Keep it civil. I know some people are going to be like, that's bullshit. You don't fucking whatever. And
fuck you, Sean. Hope you die in a fire. It's not going to happen. So stop sending me hate mail.
If you disagree and you fervently disagree, instead of making it about how we're idiots, make it a funny comment. Maybe you'll get comment of the week, that kind of a thing. That's my challenge to you, everybody. And I mentioned this earlier in the night. This week coming up, we've got fantasy booking WrestleMania 33. I'm probably going to do that on my own because it takes forever and it's not really the biggest thing to do, like a multi-person podcast. But to make up for that, of course, we already have the hot tags and the Ask Him are going to be coming up too. But we're probably this week also going to be doing our Smark Out Moment Hall of Fame for the year. And I got all those decided right now. We already know that one thing has been decided because I put up a poll to have you guys be able to pick who out of the different options. We know the honoree, I guess you can call it, of the Fuck That Guy Club is Kevin Dunn.
Fuck Kevin Dunn. Fuck that
I
guy.
also have what I would call, because I kind of separate these a little bit as like, you know, you'd have like the headliner, the main eventer, that type of a thing. We have a headliner. We've got what I would refer to as kind of a mid-carder. We've got a second mid-carder. You guys sort of picked those two. We've got a golden oldie from 2013, going back in time for that one. Tag team, which you guys will all be happy to talk about. The impression wing. We did Drew's Mr. Cotter voice last year, and we got another good one this year. And I'm introducing a new category, and I'm not going to say what it is. So that stuff is probably going to be coming up a little bit later on this week. Maybe Friday is when we're going to record it. That usually tends to be the best time I can get more people involved. And I definitely need to get more people. I can't do that on my own. So that's coming up later on this week on top of the other three things. Plenty of articles because I'm going to work myself to a fucking bone. And all the other kind of stuff as well. You can find that all on the YouTube channel, the Facebook, and the Twitter. And the website itself, smarkoutmoment.com. We're all at smarkoutmoment all over the place, so follow all that stuff there. Sean, what do you want to toss out there? What's your new Twitter handle again?
My new Twitter handle, we should actually make this an actual award for the end of the year stuff. Sean's best Twitter handle, just for shits and giggles. But this week's is Your Nan Hates You. So follow me on the Twitter at Your Nan Hates You. I know I said I wasn't going to do this review, but blame the other guys for not wanting to do it.
Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, Brian. Drew.
And the rest.
Yeah.
But especially that Brian fuck.
Making me work at 5:25 in the morning.
Yeah, I got food I gotta eat. I got like sore throat and everything. But I love you guys. So so that's why we do these things. It's 25 past 12, and I have to start editing and then start posting and all that other stuff. So, you know, by the time Monday Night Raw comes around and I don't get any sleep and all that stuff, if we do the hot tags by the time Raw is over with, it'll be like, yeah, fucking Fastlane sucked. I don't give a shit. Like, you know, all the niceties are thrown out the window. But that's coming later on, obviously. And another thing that's coming up this week, speaking of other shit to plug, Kong Skull Island is coming out. So on the fanboy side of things, if you want to know whether or not you should check that movie out, I'll be posting up a review about that. And God knows what else, man. I'm losing track of all this stuff. But April 3rd, I'll be able to go to sleep. So that's fun. Actually, no, I won't be able to, because then it's Raw and SmackDown. Yeah. April 8th, maybe. We'll see. So we will see you next time, everybody. Thanks for watching this one more time. This has been another Smark Out moment, and we are being counted out.